21 Denozo, 55 Helene Charisma, but Werther, he is the favourite here. 2.8, he's come in, and Time Warp comes into 3.3. They're the two fighting our favouritism here in the City Hong Kong Gold Cup for 2018.
Matthew Chadwick's a pretty laid-back customer, Jenny, but surely his heart's got to be racing at this point. It's massive to get back on this horse after everything that's happened.
It is, and it's also not an easy task either, because he's never jumped that well with Matthew either. He's been really tardy out of the gates, so that's your query number one. And when he gets towards the 1400 metre mark, he'll be holding his breath as well, and hopefully Pakistan won't be. He'll be nice and relaxed. So a lot will depend on how he jumps and what happens at that stage.
Yeah, barrier one, John. I think Matthew was saying on HK Direct that maybe not ideal because he potentially has got horses coming across on top of him, but he gets the shortcut round the corner anyway.
He's just a little bit further away from that dodgy part of the track as well, isn't he? So, yeah, and interestingly, prior to his rehabilitation, the two races he ran at 2000, he never showed any signs of wanting to stop. It's been races that have started over on the far side that have caused him problems. So I don't know, it's tricky trying to get into their heads. It's tricky enough trying to find winners at the best of times, but he's just an extremely talented horse. He always has been. He was a bit of a victim of his own success in the early stages. There was so much hype about him. He couldn't quite live up to that after 2 or 3 runs. He was then quickly up through the handicap system here, and he came up against some very good horses, and there was no disgrace losing to them. Then he came up against Rapid Dragon, who was a marvellous 4-year-old last year. So if he's back to anything like his best, he's going to be there or thereabouts here, and it'd be great to see him win, because he's the most high-profile horse here in Hong Kong. I don't know about you, but whenever I occasionally tweet stuff about horse racing here in Hong Kong, you mention Pakistan Star and your retweets and stuff just go through the roof. Everyone around the world watches him, and they'll be tuning in today.
Absolutely, and of course Monty Roberts, world-renowned horse whisperer, who did some work with him whilst he was here in Hong Kong a couple of months ago. I'm sure he'll be tuned in to see how he performs as well.
Yeah, well, Tony Cruz has got the two. He actually said that Time Warp's probably the better chance, I suppose, with that race fitness under his belt of the two runners, but they're pretty closely matched as far as the market is concerned, Time Warp and Pakistan Star. Right on start time, Paul, any late changes?
No, just more money for Werther into 270 and Time Warp into 310. So they're the two that have been really well backed. Pakistan Star just drifted out to 470, 880 Gold Mount. He's on the drift as well as Seasons Bloom. Hits $10, but 270 Werther, $3 Time Warp. That's the match races. Punters see it.
First and foremost, it's just a great renewal of the race, isn't it? I mean, Pakistan Star aside, Werther and Time Warp and the likes of Gold Mount too. It's a great renewal.
Yeah, we've got the Time Warp and Werther out of the Cup. Seasons Bloom, who was favourite for the Marlin International Day, didn't quite far, but has come back and certainly put the record straight as far as that was concerned. You've got Gold Mount as a Royal Ascot winner, Helene Charisma as a Group 1 winner in Europe, now gelded. He might suddenly, the penny might drop with him. Eagle Way is a Group 1 horse from Australia. So a high-class lineup, but the big three right at the top of the market.
Certainly are. That's all they want, really. Gold Mount is the only other one that there's a bit of a nibble for.
Okay, they're loading them up for the feature race, or one of the features today, here in what's a fantastic afternoon at Sha Tin. Without further ado, it's Brett with a call.
Thank you, John. Yes, race number 8, the City Hong Kong Gold Cup. First of our 2 Group 1s today. The Stewards Cup winner, Seasons Bloom, first to secure his position in the gates. Last year's winner, Werther, at $2.70. Time Warp, the winner of the Cup in December, now $2.90. $4.80 for Pakistan Star. Great to see him back at the races. Gold Mount at $9.20, $10 for Seasons Bloom. John Moore with the favourite here, Werther. 8 of the last 10, 9 of the last 12 Gold Cups he's won. He's won the last 5. Designs on Rome back-to-back, Military Attack back-to-back, and Werther's looking to do the same. So there's been plenty of anticipation for this race. The City Hong Kong Gold Cup set for a start. Pakistan Star a little restless. Oh, he reared up at the start, probably missed it a length or so. No pace from Secret Weapon or Helene Charisma. Denozo came out running. Pakistan Star quickly driving through nearer the inside. Time Warp wider out, rolling on. He's looking to cross over here, Purton on Time Warp. Now Helene Charisma from the back is quickly whipping around them. He'll be outside of Time Warp shortly. Pakistan Star has got himself into a perfect spot on the back of of the speed inside of Denozo. 3 lengths further back then to Werther, who settled on his lonesome. A length and a half to Secret Weapon. 1 away, Season's Bloom. 2 further back to Gold Mount. 2 last of all is Eagle Way. They're striding down the back, and Time Walk being softened to some extent by Helene Charisma, who's very keen to his outside. Pakistan Star at the 1200 right on their back, along with Denozo. They're 2.5 lengths clear to Werther, who's been able to get into a lovely rhythm under Bowman. 2 further back, Secret Weapon. Then 2 to Season's Bloom on the outside of Eagle Way, and Gold Mount is last of all as they reach the 900 metre point, where Time Warp sets the standard. 3/4 to Helene Charisma. Denozo wheeling out 3 wide. Pakistan Star is stalking on the back of the speed. Werther's had a lovely trek into the race. He's travelling strongly as they come up towards the 600 metres. Secret Weapon, then Season's Bloom, Eagle Way, and Gold Mount. Time Warp inside the 500. A half a length now to Denozo. Pakistan Star sweating on the run. Werther's cruising up. Secret Weapon, Season's Bloom, Eagle Way, Gold Mount. Helene Charisma dropped off. Time Warp starts to click it up. Werther rolls up to join him. There's a half a length between them. Pakistan Star trying to sprint. He can't match them. Season's Bloom closing off. Time Warp fends off the challenge from Werther, who now levels up. Werther and Time Warp stride for stride. Season's Bloom, Pakistan Star. Time Warp repels the challenge from Werther, and Time Warp will do it again. Time Warp from Werther, and Season's Bloom third, Pakistan Star. A great return fourth. They've gapped the rest. Denozo from Gold Mount, Eagle Way, Secret Weapon, Helene Charisma, a distant long last. Time Warp from Werther, Season's Bloom and Pakistan Star. 4 lengths back to Gold Mount. Time Warp, winner of the Hong Kong Cup in December, now winner of the City Hong Kong Gold Cup in February. Defeats Werther, Season's Bloom, Pakistan Star. What a revelation he's been, Time Warp. The 5-year-old by Archipenko, who himself won a big race here at Sha Tin. 5 wins now, 16 starts. Tony Cruz, Zach Purton, a treble for the day. Time is 1:59.97. It's a very fast run. They've broken 2 minutes. 1:24.34. Well, we read up at the start, probably missed it a length or so. No pace from Secret Weapon or Helene Charisma. Denozo came out running. Pakistan Star quickly driving through nearer the inside. Time Warp wider out, rolling on. He's looking to cross over here, Purton on Time Warp. Now Helene Charisma from the back is quickly whipping around them. He'll be outside of Time Warp shortly. Pakistan Star has got himself into a perfect spot on the back of the speed inside of Denozo. 3 lengths further back then to Werther, who settled on his lonesome. A length and a half to Secret Weapon. 1 away, Season's Bloom. 2 further back to Gold Mount. 2 last of all is Eagle Way. They're striding down the back, and Time Walk being softened to some extent by Helene Charisma, who's very keen to his outside. Pakistan Star at the 1200 right on their back, along with Denozo. They're 2.5 lengths clear to Werther, who's been able to get into a lovely rhythm under Bowman. 2 further back, Secret Weapon. Then 2 to Season's Bloom on the outside of Eagle Way, and Gold Mount is last of all as they reach the 900 metre point, where Time Warp sets the standard. 3/4 to Helene Charisma. Denozo wheeling out 3 wide. Pakistan Star is stalking on the back of the speed. Werther's had a lovely trek into the race. He's travelling strongly as they come up towards the 600 metres. Secret Weapon, then Season's Bloom, Eagle Way, and Gold Mount. Time Warp inside the 500. A half a length now to Denozo. Pakistan Star sweating on the run. Werther's cruising up. Secret Weapon, Season's Bloom, Eagle Way, Gold Mount. Helene Charisma dropped off. Time Warp starts to click it up. Werther rolls up to join him. There's a half a length between them. Pakistan Star trying to sprint. He can't match them. Season's Bloom closing off. Time Warp fends off the challenge from Werther, who now levels up. Werther and Time Warp stride for stride. Season's Bloom, Pakistan Star. Time Warp repels the challenge from Werther, and Time Warp will do it again. Time Warp from Werther, and Season...
Well, that was was an absolutely fabulous race, an amazing ride as well from Zach Purton, considering the pace they went in. History's been made here, Jenny. That is the first time they've ever gone under 2 minutes for a race over the 2,000 metres at Shartin. They've beaten Jim and Tonic's long-standing track record. And
he was no slouch by any means. Jim and Tonic, what a great racehorse he was. But this fellow, Time Warp, well, what a brilliant horse he's been so far to date. He won 6 in a row over in the UK prior to coming, and everything he's done here has been good. He had a legitimate excuse last time as well, so he was pushed and challenged right throughout. Helene Charisma served it up to him. He looked like he was going to not go on with it, and Werther was going to go past him, but he found another breath, and on he went with the job. It was a strong effort.
It certainly was, and obviously they've broken the track record, hence he's gone very strong out in front. There were some amazing sectionals in there. Reminded me a bit of A. Shinakari from a few years ago here at the December international meeting. That was a fabulous display. Zach Purton, of course, was on board when he won at this year's international meeting, and back at the 2,000 metres he was there to be shot at, and some very good horses gave it a go, but they weren't good enough. 1, 2, 4 and 3 was the result in the end. Paul, dividends?
Yeah, $30.50, $13.50, $10.50 for second, $25 there for third. The Quinella 1 and 2, the two favourites, $36. The Trio 1, 2, 4, $78, and the TS 1, 2, 4, $335. But what a great performance by Time Warp. He was taken on, but still had enough left at the end, and Werther gallant in defeat under a track record as well.
Yeah, and Seasons Bloom battled on well, and Pakistan Star, when asked in the latter stages, he found a bit more too. I thought for a first up run it was very good. It
was very good. I mean, he was quite edgy in the barriers there, and he did tend to rear a little bit and missed it. He's never been great out of the gates. He did get him into a lovely position. He was able to get a bit of cover on his outside. The horse concentrated really well. He looked like he was going to drop off in the early part of the straight, but once again he also found another breath, and he was able to just make up a little bit of ground towards the end. So good training performance to get him that ready in a race like that where they've run a track record. He's done well. He still does a few quirky things though.
Yes, he does, yeah, but thankfully there was no sign of him pulling himself up, which was the main thing. No danger this guy would pull himself up, as I said before. They went quick out in front, and Zach Purton, he knows his way around here. He'll know the sectionals like the back of his hand. He knew he had a serious horse under him and thought, well, I'm just going to grab the initiative here, not worry too much about how fast I'm going. The others have got to get past me, and they never did. Seasons Bloom's run a really good race. Interesting to see what they do with him next time out. Time Warp, I'd have thought he'd be back for the QE2 in a couple of months' time, as is probably Pakistan Star Werther as well. Seasons Bloom possibly, hopefully with some good international contenders as well. Is going to be a great QE2 this year.
Yeah, definitely. And Seasons Bloom, I thought Joe gave him a superb ride there because he got well back on him. We knew he was probably a little bit vulnerable at the 2,000 metres, but he gave him every possible chance to run that out, and he's done a really good job. He hasn't been beaten all that far in the end anyway, so a good effort. But all honours to this winner, Time Warp. Well done to Tony Cruz and Zach Purton. They've got a good association with this horse, and he's a ripper.
He is. He has a happy habit of winning races as well, as Jenny was mentioning. Of course, very successful when trained by Sir Mark Prescott over in the UK, and has won a whole host of races here in Hong Kong. And well, he's won 2 of our best ones this season, and who's to say he can't win more, Paul?
No, exactly. It was a great ride. He's obviously a high-class horse. He's broken the track record. Very happy connections, as you'd imagine. Tony Cruz there and Zach Purton with a big smile on his face managed to hold off the challenge of Hugh Bowman and Werther. But look, I tell you what, it sets it up nicely for the QE2 Cup over when they all meet again over the 2,000 metres.
Yep, marvellous, of course. All those big races on the same day this year here at Shartin. That afternoon here a little bit later on in the season. There's Zach Purton being congratulated by all and sundry. I see Mrs. Purton down there as well, just congratulating Tony Cruz as well, who of course has trained the winner. He'll be pretty happy though with the way Pakistan Star has gone.
Yeah, definitely. He'd be very happy with both of those horses, no doubt about it, and enjoying the moment there. Of the rest, Gold Mount, well, he was another Tony Cruz horse. He's finished in 5th position, a fair way back from the place getters there to 5th position. He was just putting a little bit of pressure on another one there as well. Helene Charisma wanted to, well, he was up there and he put the pressure on the winner, but he dropped off really quite quickly. I think there might have been something amiss with him.
Possibly. He's a bit of a A bit of an enigma is old Helene Charisma, and of course Dinozo was up there in the early stages as well, and he probably suffered under those really they were high class sectionals, no doubt about it, and he's been too good for them. Time Warp on this occasion. Gold Mount I think will probably keep for a race possibly like the Vars back over 2,400 next season, or certainly that big Champions and Chaser Cup at the end of the year too, because I think the further he goes, the better he'll be.
You can see it's quite blustery out there as well. Here's the replay.
Yep. Time Warp, there he is, Zach Purton. He's had a fantastic season. Of course, he was the international jockeys winner as well in International Week prior to the big day back in December. He showed them who was boss at Happy Valley. He's ridden some big race winners. He's still within shouting distance of Moreira at the top of the title as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, the trophy presentation of the City of Hong Kong Gold Cup will now commence.
Okay, so the presentation platform has been erected pretty quickly down there on the turf, as it always is, and or in these occasions they have weighed in as well for the 8th race, just to confirm that. But some marvellous trophies to be awarded here to the connections of Time Warp, Paul, who has really settled in very nicely in his year or so here in Hong Kong.
Yeah, he's been a real revelation. I remember when he started running around Happy Valley. Now he's here winning the City Hong Kong Gold Cup. You can see very happy connections there. The Quinella places was 1 and 2 was $17, 1 and 4 $37.50, and 2 and 4 $32.50 as well. They have weighed in for race number 8. So if you're lucky enough to back Time Warp there, $30.50 for your $10. You can go and collect on him at the moment. And there's Tony Cruz, of course, had a few runners in the race, and very happy, and good association, as you mentioned, John, as well, with Tony Cruz and Zach Purton in this race, and a very happy Zach Purton collecting his trophy.
Tony Cruz broken the recent stranglehold that John Moore had on this race as well by saddling Time Warp to victory here. So there you go. The presentation being made for the Citibank Hong Kong Gold Cup. Stay with us, of course. We've still got the Queen Silver Jubilee Cup to come very shortly. The horses will be in the parade ring for that in the next few moments.